Hello everyone, how you guys going? 皆さんご機嫌いかがでしょうか。今日も可能性無限大 This is タロサックということで、今日の動画では外国人男女に聞いたあんたなんでタトゥー入れたんっていうテーマでやっていきたいと思います。外国人さんって日本人に比べるとタトゥー入ってる人すごく多いじゃないですか。サッカー選手でいうと、メッシとか、一昔前ならベッカムとか、それこそジャスティン・ビーバーとか、ここオーストラリアなんかでは本当に一般人でも全身にタトゥー入れてる人ザラにいます。日本的な考えでいうと驚きなのが、学校の先生とか警察、それからテレビ CM に出ている人も普通にねタトゥー入ってて、日本のタトゥーに対する価値観とちょっと違うのかなと思ったので、そこに関して今から実際にいろんな国出身の外国人イケメンイケ女にインタビューしていきたいと思います。僕ですか？僕はただの12秒です。始める前に一つだけ、僕のチャンネルではこういった外国人さんへのインタビュー動画ですとか海外関連の役立つ情報を毎週配信してます。見るだけで頭の中がグローバル化できるチャンネルになっていると思いますので、もしね少しでも役に立ったとか面白いと思ってもらえたらチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。それでは早速いきましょう。Okay, thank you for helping me film this video. Where are you from?
I'm from Melbourne.
Would you mind my asking how old you are?
I am 33 years old.
33? You don't look like 33. I'm 30. You look like same age as me.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that.
What have you been up to today on the Bondi Beach?
Walking, exercising and eating.
Walking, exercising and eating. Sounds very healthy. Today I'm interviewing foreign people about tattoo, and I couldn't help myself talking to you because you have such an amazing tattoo on your arms. How many tattoos do you have?
5. Got a couple on my chest, back and my stomach.
Could you tell me how old were you when you got the first one?
17.
17. So you were a high school student.
Yeah.
What was the conception behind the story when you got the first one?
I wanted a tattoo. My parents didn't actually want me to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's why I got it here so that my mum couldn't see it.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I also got something that I thought would be meaningful and is still meaningful to me today. So it was a prayer that my mum used to read to me when I used to grow up. She used to read a prayer and it's part of that prayer.
So it's very meaningful, but unfortunately your mum didn't like the fact you got the tattoo.
Correct.
Did she find out?
Yeah, I had to shower. I've had to walk around. My towel covered. She goes, "Why are you wearing a towel like this?" And then I had to shower.
Okay, I want to ask you, because in Australia I thought tattoos very, people are open-minded about this,
yeah.
But actually some people don't like it. Like your mum, she doesn't like tattoo.
No, they don't. It also depends what industry you work in and what kind of job you're going for. I work in media. I think everything here is acceptable. Maybe once you start to get to your neck and your hands, then it gets a bit interesting, and some people judge based on the tattoo.
So especially if you want to work in a bank or something, that would be a bit of a problem.
It'd probably be a no. Yeah, I think the old school perception would still be very real in that if it gets on the hands or the neck.
All right, let me ask you a last question. I know some people might say Japan's Japan, but Japan is still not really, okay for tattoo. If you have tattoo, well, I do have tattoo. I can't go to hot springs, some swimming pool, or even some beaches. What do you think about this topic, culture?
It's a cultural thing, right? My background's Ukrainian, and I was born there.
Yeah.
And tattoos there are seen as, if you're, prisoners, if you were in prison, you'd get tattoos. So it's still looked down upon. So there's a lot of cultural barriers with tattoos that with time are changing, generation by generation, but it's still very, very present.
So if you go to Japan one day and then you try to go to swimming pool or whatever, the beach, and some people say, sorry, in my country, you can't do that, you're not going to get upset, or you agree with that, you follow the culture. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've come to your country, I play by your rules.
That is true. All right. Thank you very much for help.
Pleasure,
Thank you very much for your help. Where are you from?
I am from Sydney, Australia, but my family is Māori from New Zealand.
So you're born and raised in Australia, but your parents are from New Zealand. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's what I thought, because you have such amazing, is that Maori tattoo? Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Okay, I want to ask you about the tattoo today. First of all, how many tattoos do you have?
I think I have about 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Are they all Maori tattoo?
No, just the one.
Just the one. This one, yeah?
Yeah, just this one.
I'm not too sure about the culture, but I know that Maori people get the Maori tattoo. What is the conception behind it? What is the conception of getting Maori tattoo?
So the traditional name for it is tāmoko. A lot of the different patterns symbolize different things. So it could be a river, it could be a mountain, it could be a person, it could be a story. But the traditional sort of swirling sort of pattern that you'll most often see with tāmoko symbolizes the the fern from New Zealand. You've got the fern, which has the big, beautiful green leaves, but then it also has these sort of swirling little bits on it that come up like that, and that's essentially that's the motif that's most present in Tā moko.
Oh, that's interesting. So they have some kinds of Maori tattoo which is called Tā moko. They all have a meanings.
Yeah, they'll all have a meaning. They'll all carry some sort of message or something important to the person who carries them. So we say that instead of, getting a Tā moko or having a Tā moko, it really is sort of revealed on your body. So the idea is that they're always there on your skin, and that when you get your Tā moko, that it's revealed.
That's very interesting. When you got your traditional tattoo, how old were you?
I was 21 and it was my first one.
It's your first one and it's very meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was your parents reacted to it? Were they happy about it or?
Absolutely. My parents were over the moon to think that I wanted to carry something so significant on my body. They were very happy. I think, to Maori people or to people who carry Indigenous tattoos, it's not like getting a picture on you. It's your family, it's where you're from. It means something so much more. So
something
they were
so
stoked.
much more.
Yeah.
Traditional, beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's
beautiful
right.
Culture.
That's right.
That is beautiful. So when you get the Tā moko, do people usually go back to New Zealand and get it, or you can get it in Australia as well?
That's a good question. You can get them in Australia. It really depends on the artist that you want. So I went back to New Zealand for mine, so did my brother. For me, I want somebody who understands my tribe, understands the place that I come from, and really can carry those stories into the Tā moko. So, you can get someone to do it in Australia, but that person for me wouldn't be connected with where I'm from and who I am. So that's why I chose to go back home to New Zealand and get it there.
So, including your traditional tattoo and all the other tattoo, how much do you think you spent for all of your tattoo?
Oh, look, all of mine are pretty small and I got most of them overseas, so they were quite cheap. I would say probably all up maybe $1,000.
Oh, $1,000, not too bad.
Yeah, bargain.
Especially in Australia, tattoos are really expensive. I think usually you go to a tattoo studio and then you pay $200 for an hour. I think that's the average or a bit more.
Yeah, and look, even if you want a tiny little something on you, the minimum is always going to be $100 in Australia.
Yeah.
So overseas you can get them done for practically nothing.
Can I ask you, so this is going to be the last question, but can I ask you a little bit tricky, a difficult question to answer?
Sure.
In Japan, tattoos are still not really accepted, and I have tattoos. Still, there are many elderly people who care about tattoo. Do you know about Japanese tattoo? Like all the tigers and koi fish and stuff like this?
Yeah.
So these are kind of symbolizing as Japanese gangsters. Because of that, some people can feel a bit offended or not comfortable to see tattoos. What do you feel when you come to Japan for holiday or something, and then sometimes you can't go to hot springs or swimming pool or even beaches?
Okay.
What do you think you're gonna feel?
Look, I think, choosing to get a tattoo on your body, it's an expression of yourself. It's an expression of who you are and where you are at that point in time. Obviously, if you're not allowed to go somewhere, or you don't feel comfortable enough to go somewhere, or someone isn't accepting you for something that is really just you expressing yourself, then maybe they're just not the places for you. It's always better to go somewhere where people understand you, or somewhere where you're going to be accepted, no matter who you are, what you look like. People who hold judgments on other people, that's fine, that's theirs, but I think love yourself, accept yourself, and
love yourself, accept yourself.
And then you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you very much for beautiful answers. I enjoyed interviewing you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. In your country, do you think it makes your situation harder to find a job? It's showing your pride for your country. Yeah. Were your parents happy about it?
That's another story, bro.
When did you get the first one?
I got the first one when I was maybe 18.
Did you talk to your mum and dad?
No.